Have you ever felt like the tools and methodologies we've used for decades are suddenly struggling to keep pace with the sheer speed of modern business? Welcome to Lecture 03 of our series. Today, we are diving deep into the essentials of artificial intelligence specifically tailored for project professionals. We aren't just talking about robots or science fiction. We are talking about the fundamental shift in how projects are conceived, managed, and delivered in what we call the exponential age. As project managers, our value has always been in our ability to organize chaos. However, as the data surrounding our projects grows more complex, the human-only approach to processing that data is reaching its limit. This session is designed as a guide to help you navigate this transition, ensuring you don't just survive the integration of AI, but lead it. We will explore the why behind this technological surge, and more importantly, the how of applying it to your daily workflow. By the end of this session, you'll have a grounded understanding of the AI landscape. We will move past the buzzwords and get into the mechanics that matter for your career. Let's start by looking at exactly what skills and concepts you are going to master today. What does it actually mean to be AI literate in a professional setting? It's more than just knowing how to use a chatbot. To truly lead, you need to master the architecture of the technology. First, we will define the exponential age. This isn't just a fancy term. It represents a specific inflection point where the rate of technological change begins to outpace traditional organizational adaptation. Understanding this helps you justify why AI adoption is a necessity, not an option. Next, we will break AI down into its three core functional elements: perception, prediction, and planning. Think of these as the senses, the brain, and the actions of an AI system. For a project manager, this translates to how a system sees a delay, forecasts a budget overrun, and suggests a resource reallocation. We will also clear up some common misconceptions by distinguishing between narrow AI, which is what we use today, and general AI, which remains the stuff of movies. Finally, we will get technical, but in a way that stays practical. You'll learn to differentiate between machine learning, neural networks, and deep learning. We'll also examine the three primary ways machines learn: through teachers in supervised learning, discovery in unsupervised learning, and experience in reinforcement learning. This foundation is what allows you to look at a new PM tool and understand exactly what is happening under the hood. Take a moment to look at the curve of human progress. For a long time during the technological and computer ages, change felt manageable. It was linear. You could predict what next year would look like based on last year. But look at where we are now. We have entered the exponential age. Disruptive technologies are no longer iterating in straight lines. They are compounding. We saw the first sparks with the internet, which revolutionized how we learn and access information. Then came social media, which changed how we connect. This was followed by the rise of mobile, AR, and VR, which began to close the human-machine gap. But now we have hit the AI inflection point. This is the moment where the power of the technology has moved from the experimental margins to the absolute center of the main stage. For you as a project professional, this shift creates a mandate. In an era where innovation moves this fast, the traditional wait-and-see approach to new tools is a recipe for obsolescence. The profession must stand up and take charge. This means moving beyond just being a user of technology to being a leader who understands its impact on resource allocation and strategic goals. To lead, however, we first need a clear, professional definition of what AI actually is. What is artificial intelligence? In the simplest professional terms, it is machine behavior and function that exhibits human-like intelligence. Specifically, we are looking for the ability of a system to perceive its surroundings, learn from what it sees, decide on a course of action, and communicate that effectively. To make this actionable for project management, let's break it into three elements: perception, prediction, and planning. Perception is about sensing. For a PM, this might be a system that automatically reads thousands of status reports to understand the true health of a portfolio. Prediction is the forecast. It uses pattern recognition to say, based on the last 5 projects this team did, there's an 80% chance they will miss this upcoming milestone. Finally, planning is the action. This is where the AI uses those perceptions and predictions to suggest a new schedule or a different resource allocation. Think about your current workflow. How much time do you spend just trying to perceive what is happening across your project? If a machine handles the perception and prediction, your role as a PM shifts toward high-level decision-making and leadership. But it's important to realize that not all AI is created equal. When you hear people worrying about AI taking over the world, they are usually talking about general AI. But as a professional, you need to know the reality of the market today. We categorize AI into 2 buckets, narrow and general. Narrow AI, also known as weak AI, is what we actually have. These systems are specialists. They are designed for a very specific task, like a chatbot answering customer queries, an algorithm predicting a project's budget, or facial recognition software. The limitation here is critical. A narrow AI cannot do anything outside its specific programming. A tool designed to optimize your project schedule cannot suddenly decide to write a marketing plan for you. Every single AI tool currently on the market is narrow AI. General AI, or AGI, is strong AI. This would be a system with human-level mental dexterity, one that can learn a task in one domain and apply that knowledge to a completely different, novel situation. While this is a popular topic for movies, the reality check is that AGI is still purely theoretical. We haven't built it yet. Most of the narrow tools we use are powered by a specific engine called machine learning. If AI is the car, machine learning, or ML, is the engine that makes it move. In the old days of computing, if you wanted a computer to do something, you had to write an if-then rule for every single scenario. That is, explicit programming. Machine learning changes that. It allows systems to learn patterns from data on their own. The process looks like this. First, we have the input. This is your training data. For a PM, this might be 10 years of project schedules and budget sheets. Next is the process. We feed that data into an ML algorithm, which acts like a mathematical detective, looking for patterns and correlations that a human might never notice. Finally, we get the output, which is the ML model. The model is the finished product of the learning. It's the digital brain that says, I have seen the patterns, and I am now ready to help you with this specific task. When you use a tool that predicts project risks, you aren't using an algorithm. You are using a model that was trained by an algorithm. Now, there are 3 distinct ways these engines are trained. The most common type of machine learning you'll encounter is supervised learning. I like to call this the teacher approach. In this scenario, the machine is like a student being given a textbook that already has the answers filled in at the back. We provide the algorithm with labeled data. Think about your email spam filter. To train it, we show the machine thousands of emails and explicitly tell it, this one is spam and this one is legitimate. The algorithm analyzes keywords and sender patterns to understand what makes an email spammy. Because it had the answer key during training, it learns to recognize those features. The goal is to create a model that can look at a new email it has never seen before and correctly sort it. In project management, we use supervised learning for things like cost estimation. If we give the machine data from 100 past projects with their final costs labeled, the machine learns the relationship between project variables and the final price tag. But what if we don't have the answers? That's where the explorer comes in. Sometimes we don't know what we're looking for. We just have a mountain of data and a feeling that there's a pattern hidden inside it. This is where we use unsupervised learning, or the explorer approach. Here we give the algorithm unlabeled data. There is no teacher, no answer key, and no correct result provided at the start. The machine's job is to look at the data and find clusters, groups of items that share similar characteristics. Imagine dumping 1 million project task descriptions into the system. The machine might notice that certain types of tasks always seem to happen together, even if they are in different departments. It discovers structures and groupings that human project managers might miss because we are too close to the work. In the real world, this is used for complex image analysis or for segmenting customers based on behavior. For a PM, unsupervised learning is incredibly powerful for risk identification. It can scan through thousands of lines of project data and cluster together high-risk activities that you didn't even realize were related. The third type of learning is perhaps the most human in its execution: reinforcement learning. This is the experience approach. Think of it like training a dog or how an autonomous car learns to drive. The machine is placed in an environment and told to reach a goal. It takes an action. If that action leads to a mistake, like the car drifting off the road, the system receives a penalty. If the action is successful, like navigating a turn correctly, it receives a reward. By running millions of these simulations, the machine learns which behaviors lead to the most rewards. It eventually discovers the optimized path. For project professionals, reinforcement learning is the future of resource leveling and scheduling. Imagine a system that plays your project schedule like a video game, trying thousands of different resource combinations until it finds the one that finishes the fastest with the least cost. It learns from its own simulated experience to give you the best possible plan. To make sure this sticks, let's look at the big three side by side. This is a favorite topic for certification exams, but it's also the mental framework you should use whenever you're looking at an AI vendor's sales pitch. First, we have supervised learning. The key data here is labeled. If the vendor says, "Our tool predicts delays based on your past 50 projects," they are likely using supervised learning. Remember the analogy. It's like learning with a teacher who already knows the answers. Second is unsupervised learning. This uses unlabeled data. If a tool claims to find hidden inefficiencies in your supply chain that you didn't know existed, that is unsupervised learning. The analogy here is self-discovery. Finally, reinforcement learning. This relies on trial and error. If you are using a high-end simulation tool to find the perfect sequence for a complex construction build, you're likely using reinforcement learning. The analogy is learning by doing. Now that we've covered the how of learning, let's look at the structure that makes modern AI so powerful. How do we actually build these models? We look to biology. A neural network is a digital system that simulates the way neurons work in a human brain. It consists of an input layer where data enters, an output layer where the result is produced, and most importantly, one or more hidden layers, where the actual analysis happens. When we add many of these hidden layers together, we get deep learning. The deep in deep learning literally refers to the depth of these layers. This is the technology that has caused the recent explosion in AI capability. However, deep learning isn't free. It is computationally expensive. It requires big data to learn effectively and specialized hardware, specifically GPUs, to handle the math. This is the power behind the most advanced AI tasks we see today, like voice assistants and translation apps. To keep these terms straight, it's helpful to see how they fit into a hierarchy. You will often hear the terms AI, machine learning, and deep learning used interchangeably, but they actually exist in a nested hierarchy. Think of artificial intelligence as the largest circle. It is the broad concept of machines acting smartly. Inside that is machine learning. This is a specific subset of AI focused on the methods and algorithms that allow machines to learn from data. Finally, at the center, you have deep learning. This is a further subset of machine learning that specifically uses multi-layered neural networks. The takeaway here is simple. All deep learning is machine learning, and all machine learning is AI. But not all AI is deep learning. Understanding this hierarchy allows you to speak with authority when discussing tech stacks with your IT teams. Now, let's look at two of the most important practical applications, NLP and computer vision. As project managers, we spend about 90% of our time communicating. That's why natural language processing NLP is a game changer. NLP is the technology that allows machines to understand, interpret, and generate human language. It's not just about recognizing words, it's about understanding intent. NLP can summarize a 50-page contract in seconds or analyze the sentiment of stakeholder emails. We also have natural language generation, NLG, which is the part of the system that allows the computer to talk back to you in a natural conversational flow. Think about the unstructured data you deal with every day, meeting notes, emails, PDF reports. Previously, this data was hard for computers to analyze. With NLP, your project management software can now read those documents and automatically extract action items or risks. But language is only half the story. If NLP gives machines a voice, computer vision gives them eyes. For a long time, computers saw photos only as a grid of numbers. Decoding the meaning of those pixels was incredibly difficult. Deep learning changed that, allowing machines to identify objects and complex scenes with high accuracy. In project management, the applications are massive. In construction, drones equipped with computer vision can fly over a site and compare the actual progress against the 3D models to ensure everything is being built correctly. In asset management, it can be used to automatically track inventory and equipment across a vast site. Perhaps most importantly, it's a massive win for safety. A computer vision system can monitor a job site 24/7 and immediately alert a PM if a worker isn't wearing a hard hat or if a vehicle is entering a restricted zone. This is perception at scale. We've covered a lot of ground today. We started with the big picture, realizing that we are living through an exponential age and that AI has reached a critical inflection point. We broke AI down into its functional core, the ability to perceive the world, predict outcomes, and plan actions. We cleared up the hype by acknowledging that while narrow AI is incredibly powerful and ready for use today, general AI remains a future theory. And we looked under the hood at machine learning, distinguishing between the teacher, the explorer, and the experience-based approaches. As you leave this session, I want you to reflect. How could you apply machine perception to your project monitoring right now? Could an NLP tool help you perceive risks in your documentation? The exponential age doesn't wait for anyone. Now is the time to take charge. Learn the tech, grow your skills, and lead your projects into the future.